Well, last week we told you about claims from a former State Department employee that higher-ups at State killed investigations into several sex scandals within the department, including one involving a U.S. ambassador. Now that whistleblower, Aurelia Fidenizin, is claiming that she is being harassed by her former employer, folks at State. She says federal law enforcement agents have come to her house, harassed her children, and are trying to bully her into silence. Cal McClanahan is an attorney and has represented several agency whistleblowers. He joins me now. Cal, thanks for being here. So this comes amidst reports that the State Department, accused here of failing to investigate or actively covering up several emerging scandals under Hillary Clinton, is now, rather than pursuing those scandals to their logical conclusions, targeting the whistleblower, threatening legal action against her, thinking about bringing charges against her, and now she says sending federal agents to her home to harass her children. Your reaction?
Well, first of all, this is something that, while the State Department is embroiled in the scandals under Clinton's and Kerry's watch, this is something that transcends politics and administrations. Whenever there's a whistleblower, the people in power will try to either silence them or build their case to defend against them as much as they can through whatever tricks they can use. Sometimes they will go through the proper procedures. Most of the time they will bluff, as I think they did here, and assume that she doesn't know her rights and that she doesn't know that she can refuse to talk to them.
That's the crazy thing, because Aurelia Fidenizin is not just she's not your average State Department employee. She was with the Inspector General's office. That's the group that does the investigations when wrongdoing is alleged. She says she investigated the wrongdoing. She found cover-ups. She put that in the report, and then the report got scrubbed. And that's when she went to members of Congress and to the news agencies and said, I'm telling you, there was a cover-up, and then they tried to cover up the cover-up, and I'm blowing the whistle on this. In response, Cal, she says, next thing she knew, 2 officers are showing up at her home, harassing her children, demanding to know their mom's place of work and her cell phone number now. She says they camped out for 4 or 5 hours. One of her children was a minor being questioned by these officers who are from State's Inspector General's office, the place she used to work. And her lawyer is saying this is outrageous.
And I agree. I think it's outrageous, if only for the reason that they thought they could get away with it. I mean, regardless of whether or not you think that she was justified in doing what she did, she knows their playbook. She knows all the tricks they have up their sleeve, that they thought they could get away with this, that they could intimidate her and could, avoid the due process and all the procedures they have to go through.
Yeah, for example,
me.
let's just tell the viewers what we're talking about, because, for example, they wanted her, they tried to get her to sign a document admitting that she stole State Department materials, like the memos that she leaked to lawmakers and to news agencies to prove her point. She had her final, the final Inspector General report, and then she had a draft report. And the draft report had a lot more about how State had tried to cover up these scandals and the lengths to which they had gone and higher-ups at State who had been involved in it. But the final version didn't have any of that. And so she produced them, the 2 versions, to news agencies and to lawmakers. And then you got folks from the Inspector General's office showing up at her house and saying, please sign this document saying you stole all that.
They're perfectly within their rights to ask. I mean, this is something that agencies do all the time. I personally had a very unusual conversation with an FBI investigator who wanted to go through my records of my clients. And they said, if you don't cooperate, we'll get it anyway. And my response was, really? I don't believe that's going to happen. So come back when you have a warrant. Right,
go for it. But the thing is, you're an attorney. She's with the Inspector General's office, so you know your rights, and she knew her rights, and she knew what they were trying to do. So many others don't know. And this type of overreach or bullying by the federal government, when you've got a whistleblower, because there are federal laws protecting whistleblowers. Let's be real. She's got protections if she's an actual whistleblower. Could be very intimidating. And we saw similar allegations being made with the whistleblowers from State who wanted to come out and talk about what really happened in Benghazi. That their lawyers came out and said they were threatened as well. I mean, the whistleblower laws are there for a reason, are they not, Cal?
The whistleblower laws are a very good idea. Unfortunately, when you get into the realm of foreign relations and national security, they break down. in the Foreign Service, you're not protected as well as you are elsewhere. In the intelligence community, you have no protection. They can retaliate against you whenever they please if they think that you've told someone information that they consider to be protected, even if it's not classified.
Well, and you can see,
I
mean, I can see how that has a different, you know, that's a different category if you're putting lives at risk. But this woman was reporting on sex scandals that people didn't want coming out, presumably because it'd be embarrassing. And it was her job to unearth them, and she did. She unearthed the fact that they'd been unearthed and then had been covered up. And now they're trying to shut her up, she says. In any event, we'll continue to follow this case and find out what happens to Aurelia. It'd be very interesting if instead of filing criminal charges or holding responsible those involved in these alleged scandals, they only go after the woman from the IG's office who tried to shed some light on it. Cal, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.